Let's move to the next topic, seed. In the previous class, we discussed detail about post-fertilization changes. Today, let's discuss seed. Define seed. Seed is the fertilized ovule. Seed is the fertilized ovule which consists of embryo, endosperm and seed coat. Seed, the topic is seed. Seed is the fertilized ovule which consists of embryo, endosperm and seed coat. Let's discuss the dicot seed and the monocot seed. There is an example of dicot seed known as Sisal. Sisal seed is the example of dicot seed. When you see the structure of this Sisal, which consists of the embryo, endosperm as well as the seed coat. Here is the example. This is the Sisal seed. This seed, it consists of the Sisal seed. This seed, it consists of protective seed coat, outer seed coat, and here this is the structure of the Sisal seed. When you allow it to germinate, it produces the radicle part. Let us see the structure. The stalk of the fruit, this seed, it is attached with the stalk with the fruit wall. The seed is attached with the stalk. The name of the stalk is funiculus. The stalk of the seed attached to the fruit wall. So, this funiculus which disappears by leaving a scar called hilum. These all structures are important. Funiculus is the stalk of the seed which is attached by the fruit wall. When the stalk disappears, it leaves a scar that is known as hilum. Below this hilum, there is a pore. The name of the pore is micropyle. Micropyle. This micropyle is the region. You can observe here when it germinates, there is a pore which facilitates exchange of oxygen and it is used for the absorption of water at the time of germination. You try the seeds to germinate, allow it to germinate, soak it and allow it to germinate and find out the structures, this micropyle. Micropyle, there is a pore which facilitate gaseous exchange like oxygen, as well as at the time of seed germination it absorbs water. So, this region is micropyle. Then there are two seed coats. The outer seed coat, when you remove this, you can find out there is a seed coat. This seed coat, outer region which is known as testa, this part, the outer region of the seed coat, and inner you can find there is a cotyledon, the seed coat and the cotyledon. So, here you can find there is a part called radicle. The radicle, it starts to germinate. When you allow the seed to soak, it produces the seed coat. This is the seed coat. There are two seed coat. The outermost region, this one, which is known as testa, and inner there is a thin membrane that is called tegmen. So, two seed coats are there. Outer one is testa and inner one tegmen. Outer layer and inner layer. And within this is a dicot seed. You found there are two cotyledons. In this diagram, it shows that two cotyledons. The cotyledons inner to this seed coat, when you remove this seed coat, you found there is a cotyledon. So, this cotyledon, this is the cotyledon which consists of an embryonal axis. This part is the embryonal axis which is attached by the region. The cotyledon is attached by an embryonal axis. From this axis, the radicle and the plumule develops. The region which above this cotyledon is called as embryonic shoot. The name of this part is embryonic shoot. And the part which is present below the cotyledon, from the embryonal axis, the part which is beyond this region is called as embryonic root, which produces the radicle. So, here is the radicle part, radicle, and this part is plumule, the shoot apices, shoot part, it terminates into the plumule. So, radicle and plumule develops from the embryonal axis, and the part which is above this embryonal axis is known as epicotyle, and the region which below or beyond this embryonal axis is called hypocotyle. So, there are two regions, epicotyle as well as hypocotyle, observed in this seed, dicot seed, example Sisal. And another example, monocot seed. There is an example, monocot seed, Oryza, very common example, Oryza, Oryza sativa. Now, in Oryza, here is the structure of the seed, Oryza. The Oryza seed is a single seed and the name of the classification is Caryopsis. Caryopsis. So, Oryza seed is a single seed which is also covered by outer brownish coat. The name of the coat is husk. There is a outer coat, outer brownish coat named as husk, which is joined by glooms. The glooms are these glooms are arranged in two different rows. Two rows of glooms are arranged in the husk. So, inner there is a seed. This is the inner structure of the seed. In this, the bulk region of this seed is developed as a endosperm. This part, bulk region, is endosperm. As mentioned earlier, there are two types of seed, endospermous seed and non-endospermous seed. So, this seed is an example of endospermous seed. So, here is the endosperm. The endosperm forms as a bulk region, and the endosperm and the embryo, which is divided by a layer called this layer, epithelium. Epithelium. Epithelium is the layer which divides the endosperm and the embryo. And when you observe the embryo, in the embryo there is a shield shaped embryonal axis which is known as scutellum. Scutellum. The shape of this axis is, embryonal axis is shield shaped embryonal axis called scutellum. And in this there are radicle and plumule regions arises, where this root cap is present here, and this radicle and plumule are protected by another structure which is known as coleoptile and coleorhiza. This radical part which is protected by a outer coat or the outer protective layer which is known as coleorhiza, and this part, plumule part, which is protected by this is coleoptile and coleorhiza. Root, you remember like this, coleorhiza root part is protected by coleorhiza, and coleoptile, the shoot part which is protected, plumule part which is protected by coleoptile. So, plumule arises from the coleoptile and root arises, radicle arises from the coleorhiza. And the shield shape embryonal axis is known as scutellum. This is the structure of monocot seed. So, there is a difference among dicot seed as well as monocot seed. Dicot seed, sometimes the question asked as difference between dicot seed and monocot seed. So, dicot seed example Cyser, monocot seed example Oryza. Now, another topic is apomixis. What's meant by apomixis? The normal fertilization process is called as amphimixis. Amphimixis. That is the development of seed after fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes, and finally after post fertilization changes, the formation of seed. That process in normal flowering plant is called as amphimixis. Here is the process called apomixis. Apomixis is the process of without fertilization. Forming seeds without fertilization is called as apomixis. So, it is classified, it is mentioned by Winkler in the year 1908. In the year 1908, Winkler explains the term apomixis. That means it eliminates meiosis and syngamy. What is syngamy? Fusion of male and female gamete. In this process apomixis, it is absent. Syngamy and meiosis is absent. So, this apomixis is classified into two different types by Maheshwari in the year 1950. There are two different types of apomixis, namely recurrent apomixis and non-recurrent apomixis. There are two different types of apomixis based on Maheshwari in the year 1950, recurrent and non-recurrent. In recurrent apomixis, which is again classified into vegetative and agamospermy. That means here vegetative method of reproduction, the plant which reproduces, which propagate other than the part of the seed. So, seed part is not involved for the propagation. Other than seed, any part of the plant which used as a propagule, that type of reproduction is vegetative reproduction. So, recurrent type comes under vegetative as well as agamospermy. Agamospermy, A, that is absence of gamospermy. So, that is what is gamospermy? Agamospermy. Here is the process. The embryo will develop, but it is formed by the elimination of syngamy, elimination of syngamy and meiosis. What is this syngamy? Fusion of male and female gametes. That is the normal fertilization process. This process is absent. So, it is known as agamospermy. The name of the process is agamospermy. What is the definition? Embryo will develop. Embryos formed by eliminating meiosis and syngamy. That process is agamospermy. So, apomixis, sometimes it may ask as a 3-mark question or 2-mark question, any terms. Learn this. Then another topic is there, polyembryony. Poly, as you know, poly means many. Here embryony is the occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed. The seed contains embryo. Here polyembryony. Normally the seed possesses dicot seed which possesses here cotyledon. Based on the cotyledon, dicot seed, monocot seed. Here is the polyembryony. As the name itself, you can remember that embryo. Polyembryony. Normally one embryo will be there. Here more than one embryo. Occurrence of more than one embryo is known as polyembryony. And another topic is there, parthenocarpy. Or we can say this as seedless parthenocarpy. As we mentioned early, after post fertilization changes, the ovary develops into fruit. Ovary which develops into fruit, and the ovule which develops into seed. But here parthenocarpy is the process by which there is a fruit-like structures developed from the ovary without fertilization. So this process is called as parthenocarpy. So it may not produces the seedless fruit. Nowadays we can see so many seedless fruits, grapes, pear, so many seedless fruits are there which is formed by parthenocarpy. The parthenocarpy is the seedless fruit. The fruit-like structures are formed from the ovary without fertilization. So this process is parthenocarpy. It is again classified into three different types. Genetically it may induced. Parthenocarpy fruits are formed by genetical or environmental or chemically induced parthenocarpy. So three different types this fruit may form. Genetic parthenocarpy, it develops. The parthenocarpic seedless fruits are formed by mutation. By mutation or hybridization, this genetic parthenocarpy appears. And environmental parthenocarpy, due to climatic changes, frost, fog, high temperature, low temperature, due to this environmental conditions, the fruit is formed, parthenocarpic fruits is formed, is called environmental parthenocarpy. Then chemically induced, there are some chemicals which induces, when we are applying some chemicals like auxin and gibberellin. These auxin and gibberellins are growth promoting substances naturally which is synthesized in the plant parts. So this auxin application, applying auxin and gibberellin which induces parthenocarpic fruits. Such type of parthenocarpic fruits are called as chemically induced parthenocarpy. So parthenocarpy seedless fruits are developed by hybridization or mutation is called genetic parthenocarpy, and if it is due to climatic condition, frost, fog, high temperature, low temperature, such conditions, it develop parthenocarpic is called as environmental parthenocarpy. And auxin gibberellin, due to the applications of this growth promoting substances which induce parthenocarpic fruit is called chemically induced parthenocarpic fruits. And finally, what is the significance? What are the significance of parthenocarpic fruits? So parthenocarpic fruits, there is absence of seed, so it is significant in horticulture. It is a great significance in horticulture, and it is great importance commercially, it is great important. And it is also used for the preparation of jams, jellies, sauces preparation. So jam, jelly, sauces and fruit juices, fruit drinks, for the preparation of this parthenocarpy fruit is important, and the edible content is more because of the absence of seed. So these are significance of parthenocarpy. Hope you understand these concepts clear. So today you learned about seed. So seed, there are two different kinds of seed structure you studied, dicot seed and monocot seed. Then there are few topics, apomixis, polyembryony and parthenocarpy. Before the next class, learn all these questions. Thank you.